Hello everyone, this is Shadow Dragon with another Pokemon Go adventure, which I didn't quite expect, at least 100%. So on November 27th, we got a notification, whether through Twitter or through in-game, that Ho-Oh would be appearing as a raid boss. Now, we sort of knew he was coming because there were data mines that showed him and like his stats. And that was reported like a while ago, but we totally weren't expecting him. And also like a couple of other things. Everyone thought he was going to be an EX boss, like Mewtwo. Because unlike the other regular legendaries, he's not released with like partners. You know, we had 3 birds at a time, and then we had the 3 beasts. But Ho-Oh is somewhat of a unique one, more similar to Mewtwo probably. So that part of it definitely came as a surprise. And then of course the timing, like because we thought it was an EX, we thought it would be like after Mewtwo had his run, or maybe like after another release we would get Ho-Oh next year or something. But yeah, it definitely got us by surprise that it came out like now. So the release on the 27th was similar to the previous releases, where they did it like at the end of the day on Eastern time, so that the West Coast actually got it, and the East Coast pretty much loses a day, and we got it like a day after. So I woke up in the morning and I just did like a quick maintenance run, like in my neighborhood, where I just, you know, spun a couple of stops, got some Stardust along the way, and maintained some of the gyms that I was in. And then I noticed like a legendary egg close by, but it hadn't hatched yet, so I just got back home, did other stuff, breakfast and everything. And then the egg hatches and it happens to be Ho-Oh, because he's like right now he's overlapping with Suicune, so it could have been either one. If it was Suicune, I probably would have ignored it. Because like since we've had him for a few months, for a month already, almost, a Suicune probably wouldn't attract like enough people, especially on a weekday in the morning. But it happened to be Ho-Oh, so I just decided to go check it out, and then I also notified my raid group, and a number of them like immediately responded. I think there were 2 or 3 of them. And then when I got there, we eventually became 5. And 5 is a tight number for this boss, because based on like reports, he's like much stronger than any of the others that we faced. Except he might be around the same difficulty as Lugia, where you definitely needed more than 5. But I think when we were out there, it was like towards the end of rush hour, so there weren't going to be any more people, and the timer was running down. That's where the 45-minute timer actually becomes a factor. I mean, it's amazing. It's only a 15-minute difference from the old timer where it was 1 hour, but I think a lot of people miss raids because of that 15-minute difference. I was much more comfortable with the hour. So anyway, we went in, decided to give it a try, and we might as well. It was the first Ho-Oh raid for I think all of us. So in the first clip you saw that we failed it. It was really close though, like if you saw Ho-Oh's health. But there was definitely a mess up on my end, because like what I was planning to do was use my starting lineup twice. So I max revived everybody. But then when I click the re-enter, it just put the bench lineup in there, and I didn't have time to change that back out. So I don't know, sometimes it seems to do that, sometimes it'll detect like when you revive them again. But maybe I just did it too fast. So this second time around, I made sure that I got most of my starting lineup in, because it didn't do it automatically. So right around here, this is my second team going down. And then when I hit rejoin again, you see all the starting lineup that I had revived before. See, that's what it should have put in automatically after I revived them. So yeah, definitely check that if you're looking to max revive. But that could have been the difference in this fight. So at this point, while we're all doing the healing, we're also trying to contact the raid group to see if there's one other person nearby, because that's all we really needed. Like, we got really close with 5 people, and it should also be noted that none of us are level 40. So we almost got it done, and I felt like if we had one more second, we would have done this. But we couldn't get another to join, so with 8 minutes left, we just decided might as well go in again and hopefully get lucky. Because it's just a matter of him like missing something, like missing a shot on one of us, because a lot of the blows are one-shots. So on this second attempt, I'm making a mental note to double check the lineup, like when I revive them, to make sure it puts the right ones in. Because I know it definitely used to, but if it didn't now, then I have to like quickly at least swap in the higher ones manually. And after the first clip, like I felt like I did best with Vaporeon and Raikou. The others were just too slow. Like I think you need, you know, a very fast animation for the fast attack so that you're building the charge attack quickly. And Vaporeons and Raikous tend to get those in there like really quickly. Like Raikou's almost doing the charge attack every time, despite the suggested order of that they put in there, because they put Golem first, then Gyarados. Yeah, personally, my order here would be Raikou and Vaporeon first, but with the initial attempt, the order actually doesn't matter, because I know I'm going to have to revive all 6 of these guys anyway, so it doesn't matter what order they're in. Also, just a couple of notes on this video, like because I wanted to concentrate on this one, since it was the first Ho-Oh raid I've been into, I just didn't want to do a live commentary on it, so that's why it's the voiceover after the fact. And also, I kind of was debating whether this should be double speed or not, because it's going to be like almost 17 minutes at normal speed. But I decided to keep it normal speed because it's going to be the first time I have a recording of Ho-Oh's animations, so it's good to get that in real-time speed. And also, I just want to have this second clip in real-time speed because it ends up being really epic, actually. Okay, so I'll just do play-by-play from here. So still, it's just 5 of us, and we're going with the rock types. So you see like the Tyrannotars and Golems in there. See, Golem is strong, but I just don't like his animation. It seems like I feel like it's slow. Now look how fast Gyarados is. You can get the charge attack in there. So right now we're just going for straight damage. We're not really dodging because we're working against the clock, and we figure like if we can get the damage in there and revive if we have to. So there's a Dragonite in there, and Kabutops got suggested, which I thought was weird at first because his CP is low. But he can actually take a hit, and he got suggested because he has the Stone Edge move. That's pretty much why he's in there. And this is actually my lower rider, also because of the Stone Edge move. My higher one didn't get suggested because he's double ground. Raikou kind of has slow animations, but I feel like he's smoother than Golem. Now, Vaporeon is one of the best for this, because he just has a really fast animation, and he can get the Hydro Pump in there easily. I'm always more of a speed player, no matter what video game I'm in. I gravitate towards the characters with faster moves. And Raikou, I think, is definitely comparable to Vaporeon for this particular fight. Like, well, watch how quickly his charge attack builds. So I'm almost using Wild Charge, like, at will. And some of the others in the group are using the same one, so there's another Kabutops in there. And everyone has an army of Raikous at this point. Okay, so here's the revive portion. Actually, the suggested lineup is not bad because there are Raikous in there, but those are lower CP ones. So I'm doing the quick max revives, but it goes back to the second team, so I have to manually swap them in. I wasn't able to do everybody, so I just did, you know, what I could do quickly, which was basically get my perfect Raikou and Vaporeon. And if you compare this clip to the first one, we're actually at a slightly worse pace. So it just didn't look good at all, and we didn't think we were going to get it. And it actually looks pretty bad from here on. So a lot of the other guys didn't have to do a swap because they have like higher bench teams. So there's a Zapdos in there. And sometimes I think there are syncing issues when you re-enter the battle, because I often see this where you re-enter, it says there's 5 people, but it looks like you're the only one. So I don't know, maybe the health is not like recalculating, that's why it looks like he's higher than he actually is. That's my take on this. Because at the pace we're going, we really shouldn't win this one. But I think what I'm seeing on my screen is just my damage taking away, like my share of it, and the others are probably seeing the same thing. But on the server, it's actually adding up correctly. That's my guess of this. And then it's eventually trying to refresh it for everybody. But like you see on screen now, I'm the only one there, but that's not the actual case. Like there are 5 people there. Because otherwise I'd be the only target. But you saw that we won that with 0 seconds left. 5 people, nobody level 40. So it can be done as long as everyone's there and coordinating. Like this probably couldn't have been done in Manhattan with 5 people, because in Manhattan, like what you do is you enter, but you hardly see, like you see other people, but there's no communication. This is actually a formed group, so like we're standing next to each other. And we can talk to each other. Alright, so here's the catch. Ho-Oh is really close up when he flies low, and then he's further away when he flies up. So he's similar to Articuno, but his animation is slow, and he's really big. So this is going to take some getting used to. I don't think I had any good throws. So that one was just gauging distance, and I was totally off. I had no idea he was that close. But I have to go golden because it's the first one. And I think because of the limited time, I'm just going to go golden on this guy if I get into other raids. The good thing about him being slow though is he's easy to hit, but hitting with a good throw is not that easy. He's almost like Pidgey close when he's down on the screen. So I think he's gonna shake out of this one because I remember catching him on like a really bad throw too. Yeah, I think that must have been it. Like that was like way low. Didn't even hit the circle. So the magic number we're looking for here is 2,222. So straight twos across the board. This one is not close to that at all. At 2163, this one came out to 78%. So it's on the low end for a legendary. Like I consider 87 up good. Because with 87, it's possible to have like straight 13 IVs, which is like a nice balanced Pokemon. So that's sort of my personal cutoff point. But Ho is here for a much shorter time, so I'll take anything I could get.